Okay, perfect. Object. Okay. Okay. So suppose I wanted to store some people detail. Okay. There are some of the persons, or you can say that there are some of the clients where we wanted to store their details in the system. Correct. So, and imagine there is a no Salesforce. Okay. There is a no Salesforce, there is a no software, but we wanted to store some of the customer details. Then how we can store? So definitely we will create an Excel sheet and we will store their detail. Huh? So, okay. So suppose I wanted to store the first name of customer, first name, correct? Then we have the last name, okay? And then we have the email address, right? Because we wanted to contact the customer email address and primary phone number, correct? Primary phone. Okay. Then what we can do? We will store. These are the headers of the table, correct? So let's mark it different. Correct. Now let's add the people actual details. So suppose we have the John Smith. Email address would be John Smith @ gmail.com. Correct. Then we have his primary phone number, that is any random value, for example. Then we have second customer Emily Marks. Then we have the Emily Marks @ gmail.com. Her phone number would be like this. Then we have the Austin, Texas. Austin, Texas @gmail.com. One more customer. This is what the phone number is. And the one more customer would be Mark Henry. Mark Henry @gmail.com. Correct. The phone number would be something like this. Okay. So now, what is this? This is a customer. Correct. So now, anyone have any question on this to understand this table? Only consider this much. Okay. Don't check the other areas. I would say this much is enough for us. Just let me highlight this. All borders. Okay. So only consider this table. Don't consider anything else. Okay. So let me cut this actually. And let me put this. Okay. So what I did, I just put the table in a center. Okay. Now why we are understanding this Excel sheet? Okay. There is a logic behind that. Okay, it's a human nature. Whenever you wanted to store some people detail or some extra data, normally we store in a tabular format. Correct? If some of you learn the any database, okay, whether it's SQL or maybe Oracle, any database, if you heard, all the database will also create the tables and they store the data in a table format only. And it's a by human nature and it's very easy because you can add the columns and you can add rows. Columns were first name, last name, email, primary phone, correct? You can add a number of columns, you can add few more columns, and then you can add the people detail, correct? Now the same concept is followed in a Salesforce as well. Okay. So now, okay, here try to pay attention now. Okay. This complete table, okay, this complete table is called as an object in a Salesforce. What it is called as object. So this is object in our case. In other database, it is called as a table, but we call them as an object in a Salesforce. Why it is called as an object? Because it's the design of Salesforce. Okay, it's the people who design the Salesforce. They have designed in such a way. Okay, so there is a why. There's no answer for why over here. It is as it is. So we have to accept it. Correct. So table is called as an object in a Salesforce. Okay. So and now you see this. There is a first name column. There is a last name column. There is email as a column. There is a primary phone is a column. Correct. So these things is called as a fields in a Salesforce. What it is called as that fields. Okay. So I'm writing the fields over here. And these actual rows. Okay. So this is the table. This is a complete table. And these are the rows of that table. Agree? Correct. These are the 4 rows. Correct. Which are actually storing the data. Correct. And this is called as records in the Salesforce. So these are the terminologies that we need to understand and we need to completely remember. Okay, because every single day we are going to use the word as an object. We are going to use word as a fields. We are going to use as a records. Correct. So please, if you have a mobile phone, please take a screenshot of this. Okay, or else we'll definitely have the same table in our slides as well. Okay. Now, coming to the main scenario. Okay, coming to the main discussion. Okay, so how many rows we have? How many rows? Let's consider instead of this table, it is the same table over here. Just the people name is different. That's not a problem for us. Correct. So this complete complete table is called as an object in a Salesforce. Correct. These columns is called as an fields, and these rows. Okay, this arrow is round. Okay, this arrow is somewhere in the up. Correct. So this is not the row 1, 2, and 3. That is the people details are the rows. This arrow is at a wrong position. Actually, it has to be at a Daniel's level, Emma level, and Steve's level. Correct. So this arrow is at the first name level, which is a wrong. Okay. So please forgive me for that. Okay. So complete table is called these columns is called as fields and these rows is called as records in a Salesforce. Correct. So anyone have any question now? No question. Fine.
No, sir.
So now, okay, no worries. So let me introduce the Salesforce now. Okay. So let's log into the Salesforce. And then I will show you the actual data, how it looks like. Now I need an answer from you guys. Okay, as you understood the concept, then you have to answer the questions. Okay. So let's switch to the Sales app. Okay. Now, here we are in a Sales. Right? Now, tell me, let me open some leads. Leads means what? Leads customer. Correct. Now, look at the table over here. Where is the table actually? You guys can notice this is the table. Name, title, company. From this to lead status this. Do you feel this is table?
Yes.
Correct. This is the table.
Yes.
Don't worry. Now I cannot see the column rows and these vertical lines. That's okay. Now we have to understand that. Okay. So now this is table. Okay. Now which table this is? This is a lead table. Why it is lead table? Because we are seeing the lead object records. Correct. We clicked on a lead and we open the lead details. That means we open the customer details. These are our customers. So this we call as a lead table. So every table will have a name in it. Correct. So this is a lead table. This is opportunities table. This is whenever you open the opportunities and you see this is a bigger table now. You see this? There are n number of records now. Correct. From opportunity name to opportunity owner, these are the 5 to 6 columns, and there are the almost how many records are there? There are the 22 records in it. You notice this number is written over here. Correct. Now this is opportunity table. But what we call in a Salesforce word, this is an opportunity object. Correct. We don't use the word as a table. Though it is a table, looks like a table, but the terminology we use is as a object. Correct. Opportunity object. Okay. Now coming to the, let's discuss the small number of records. Okay. On a lead. Now, how many fields are over here? Can someone answer me?
Just 7.
7 fields, correct. You can just see this diagram one more time. How many fields are over here? There are the 4 fields, correct? There are 7 fields over here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and 7. There are the 7 fields we can see over here. Okay. How many records are here? There are the 3 records we can see over here. You see this? 1, 2, and 3. One record contains the person name, his title, company, this. Correct? There are so many other details as well. So this is how we have to understand the data in a Salesforce. Correct? So data is located inside the object. Correct? So this is one complete object. So data is stored inside the object. An object is made up of rows, that is records, and column, that is fields. So in a case, object is made of fields and records. Okay. Now, initially it is a little bit take times to remember these words. Okay. And then once you use to it, you will get a clear understanding. Okay. So it's just a normal word to switching to the Salesforce word. Okay. So we have how many objects we have currently we can see over here. Forget about home time. It's not an object. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. Oh, there are so many. There are so many. Here also I can see 10 of it. So almost we can see 20 objects over here. Correct? Out of that, we are focusing on a lead object, which is here. How many fields we can see over here? There are the 7 fields. How many records we can see? There are the 3 records over here. Correct? So object is equals to field plus records. If you wanted to note down, you can note it down. Object is equals to fields plus records. Correct. Now, up to this, anyone have any question? If you have small level of question, please do ask. Yesterday, I noticed people stayed in a class and they asked very, very good questions. So it has to be in front of everyone so everyone can understand this. Okay, so if you have any question, let me know, please.
One thing, sir, these objects are like in a field label. They are like labeled in the field: sales, home, opportunities, lead, task.
Yeah, that is the object names.
Okay.
Okay, and what is the inside the object? What we have? It is a table.
Table.
Right. So that table is also means an object. It's just a container, I would say. So these are the tabs.
Okay.
Correct. In our phone, whenever you open your phone, you can, and when you slides up, you can see 10 or 20 applications.
Right.
Correct? But those are just the symbols. Correct. Right. But once you click on a Facebook, then actually Facebook will open.
Right.
Correct. In the same fashion, you can see that these are the icons, or these are, but we don't call them as icon. It's a tab. Correct. So in Excel also we have the tabs. See, here we have a sheet 1. I can open the second tab as a sheet 2. But once I click on a sheet 1, then I can see inside what's happening. In the same way, these are just the tabs, and inside the tab we have the details.
Right.
Okay. Now, it's just the things that we can see over here. Okay. So how many fields we have? These are the 7 fields that we can see over here. But it is the limitation that it is the limitation of my screen. Correct? I can see only 7 to 8 fields over here. Correct? If I can add n number of fields over here, because this object can have actually more than the fields I can see over here.
I have one question.
Okay.
So can you please tell me what is the difference between the record and object?
Records and object.
Objects, yeah.
Okay. So object means what? Objects means a complete table. Okay. Focus over here then. Objects means what? This is the complete object. So object is equals to table. This is clear. It's just the terminology.
Okay.
See here, let's focus on this diagram. You see this written? This table is we call as an object in a Salesforce. Okay. And you're saying the records, these are the records. And records means what? These are the rules. See over here. So it's just a different name we are giving. The concept is same. It's just a table.
Okay.
Okay. Good.
Yes.
Now, on one single object in a Salesforce, it might possible that we have a 500 fields. Okay, so you see the 7 to 8 fields over here. It might possible that on a Salesforce, we might have 500 fields on one single object. Okay, but then how to see that object, how to check all the fields, that's what we are going to learn today. Okay, that's what we are going to learn today. So to check the technical data, so this is something data we have, correct? So this is complete data, you understood. So these are the people detail, these are company name, phone, email. So this everything is data. Okay. Now, as I mentioned, fields can have more than, up to 500 fields, correct? One object can have up to 500 fields. Okay. Now, how to check the object where the object is actually, okay. So for that, we have to go to setup. Okay, a new concept that is called as setup. It's not a concept, it's just a small thing. You see this gear icon? You see the setup word that is coming highlighted. Once you click on this, switch to the setup. It will, Salesforce will navigate to you a next window. See this? And setup is extremely important for us. Okay, so now you will see that every single movement we will open to the setup. Okay, so for the developer or for the admin, this is our actually workstation. Okay, this is where we are going to play actually. Now how? I'll tell you. And this is for the end users, because we as a developer, we as an admin, we don't care about the data, correct? That is customer details. Okay, but we need to manage the technical things. So setup is the area where all the technology aspects are located. Okay, your fields, objects, and there are a number of concepts. Okay, so so as I mentioned, lead is an object, and on this object we can have up to 500 fields. Now, how I can check those fields? How I can check the lead object details? Okay, so you just go to setup, correct? Click over here, click to setup. You will navigate to this page. Okay, once you come to this page, here is an option called an object manager. Okay, so and you can see all the objects over here. All the objects are located over here itself, and you have to open the object and check the details. Okay, so now how many objects we have over here? We have the 20 objects or 21 objects located over here, but it might possible you have up to 2000 objects in your Salesforce. Okay, so all these 2000 objects are located over here. It's not possible to add all the 2000 objects over here, correct? So people can customize their object display and they can see only the related records. Okay, you can customize these tabs as well. Okay, you can see only the tab that you want out of 2000 and you can see them. Okay, you see this? I have created this custom and I added over here because I need them every single day. That's the story. Let's forget about that, but these are the objects we have over here in a setup. Okay. So how to check, how to find out the object? You see there are n number of objects, correct? Either you can use the Control F and search for the lead. You got it? You got it clear, right? Correct? Here you get the lead. Else Salesforce will give you their own search box. Here it is a quick finder, correct? Search for the lead. Salesforce will search and give you only that single object, correct? So the approach should be this one, not the Control F. Okay, so use this search box and click on this label lead. Okay, why it is happening? Click on lead, and once you click on that, you will get the actual details of the object. Okay, you see this object detail, what they are saying? Description is nothing for this object. What is the name of object? Lead, correct? What is the singular name? What we call as a lead as a lead. What is the plural name of leads? Is a leads. Okay. Singular name is lead. Plural name is leads. Correct. And some other details are stored over here. Enable reports and blah, blah, blah. Okay. Now, as I mentioned, this is the object detail. Now, where I can find the actual fields? You see this left-hand section? There are n number of options we have now. Okay. And the first option we have is the fields and relationships. And here you can see the actual fields. Okay. Fields means what? Fields means what? This columns. First name, last name, email, primary. Correct? On a Salesforce, I can show you this name, title, company. These all are fields. And where we can find those fields? Here they are. Now on a screen, it's a screen. We can see only 7 fields, but you see this actual fields, there are n number of fields. Correct? You see this? Almost 10 or 20 fields are located over here. It's just the Salesforce, my laptop or screen limitation that we can see only 7 to 8. Correct? So you see this. Now let's take a one field at a time. Okay. You see this name field, first will be the name field. Correct? Let's figure out where is the name. Okay. If you want to search, you have the search field. You can search for the name field. You see this name, it has it. So what is the field name over here? Field label is name. Field name is name. Data type of that field is name. Correct? So every field will have the 2 names. One is the label and second is the API name that we call as the field name. Okay. So let me clear and open the complete box. You see this address field, correct? So on address field, what we store? The address detail. So field label is address, field name is address, and data type is of address type, correct? So what is mean by data type? The type of data that is going to be stored on that type of field. So if I open this, you see this phone will be always a numbers. It should not have any characters. Correct? Email address should be a combination of numbers and characters, both, but it has to contain the @ sign. Correct? Name should be always have the characters. Correct? It should not mostly don't have the numbers. Correct? So these are the data types we have. Okay. Now you see this address will be of address data type. Annual revenue. Revenue means what? Revenue is something related to amount. That is money involved there, and money is always in numbers. So the data type is of currency. Currency means what? It's a Indian rupees or Canadian dollar or US dollar or Spain, whatever it is. So it will be a revenue. Correct? So you see this, there are the n number of data types are over here. Correct? I will explain you each and every data type in very, very detail. How to create the fields, how to create the new objects, how to create the records. We'll see each and everything in a detail now. Okay. So now, just to give you the hint, every object will have the 2 types of fields. One is the standard field that is given by the Salesforce, and second is the custom fields that we as a Salesforce admin create. Okay. So this is what you can see. There are the fields. So fax is of fixed type. Fax output, it's of a checkbox type, correct? It's a pick list type. There are the n number of type of fields over here. Okay. So now this is just to give you the hint. Okay. Now just to revise, object is there. Object means this complete table. Now we have the fields, correct? And now we have the records in those objects. Correct. Now, as per the Salesforce standard, we can have up to 2,000 objects in a system. Okay. Now, out of that, almost Salesforce will provide you 180 or 200 objects. These are the Salesforce standard 200 objects are there in a system. Okay. But out of the rest of the objects, we as a Salesforce admin or developer can create from scratch. Okay. Now, let's create one object today. Okay, and then try to understand. Okay, now how to create the object? Close this, click on this, go to setup, The same way, I'm just giving you I'm doing this repeat because you will get to know where to click. Correct? Now, whenever we are dealing with something related to object and fields, we have to come to object manager. Correct? Here, you will in the top right corner, you will get button as a create. Just click on that and it will say is a custom object. Correct? So that means on a Salesforce platform, there are the two types of object. One is the standard object and second is the custom object. Custom object means the object that is created by the Salesforce admin or Salesforce developers. Correct? So let's create a custom object now. Click on that. Okay. Now Salesforce will ask you for the object details. Now here you can see this is the lead object. This is the account object, contact object. That means every object has some name in it. Correct? So let's give a name to the object. So what object we can create is, for example, bike. Okay. I'll create an object as a bike. Okay. And now what will be the plural name? So bikes, I would say. Correct? Bike's name is work. Okay. What will the object name? Here is bike. Okay. And now that's it. You don't need to do anything right now. Okay. The rest of the things you can skip as it is and save. Okay. And then click on save. So what we did, just type a bike over here and given the bikes, we just type two types. Okay. It's as simple as, let me cancel this, do this one more time. Okay. Go to create, click on custom object and click on bike. Just press the bike. So here, object name will be populated as it is by the Salesforce. And then we don't need to change anything. Okay, just click on save. Okay, you might be asking why we are not looking at the rest of the details. We will definitely look on the rest of the details. Okay, but let's create some more objects. Let's create some more fields. And then I can explain you what are these each and every checkbox. Okay. Sorry. Just click on save now. Now you see this? We just landed to our object detail page. Okay. Now you click on object manager. Now if you wanted to find your own object, how you can do? Search for your object and you can see this. Click on your label and the object details will be open. Now what it is saying, description, we can forget. We haven't added that. What's the API name of the object? Is bike __ C. Why it is __ C? So as I mentioned, every object will have the two names. One is the label and second is the API name. So what's the label over here is? Singular label is bike. But what is the API name here is? Bike __ C. Now why it is __ C? C means custom. So it is Salesforce standard that says that every object or every field will have the two names. One is the label and second is the API name. Okay. But whenever you create a custom object, it will be appended with the __ C. So this is what the Salesforce standard is. So whenever you create a new object, it will be a label for it and it will have the API name, which is appended with the __ C. And this is Salesforce standard. Okay. Anyone have any question until this? How to create the object and why, how the two names the every object will get? No question. Okay. So what I recommend you now, so if you guys are on a laptop, then please do the practice after the class itself directly. Okay. Otherwise, you will forget where to click and how to click. Okay. Initially, creation of object is very simple, but the navigation is little bit difficult. So you will not able to understand where to click. Correct. So I would highly recommend you whenever you're done with your class, do the practice in next 5 to 10 minutes. It will hardly take you 10 minutes. If you are going to your office, take your laptop out on your office laptop itself. No problem. You can log into Salesforce. No one is able to track. Okay. If you are home, then it's not a problem for you. Correct. So log into your Salesforce environment. And if you are in a bus or if you are in a car, then practice it right away. Okay. Just a suggestion. Now, once you're done with the object creation, what you did, you just created an object over here. Correct. So the way we have the lead, task, file. Now I can show you. Here we have the car parts, language. There are n number of objects we have. The same way we have created our own object that is called as a bike. Correct. Now, if you notice, this is the only object that we have created. But if I go over here, will you be able to see your object? Let me refresh. You see the bike somewhere? No, here it is not. In a more option, no, there is no bike over here. But we have created our object. Then why it is not showing? Reason behind that, the object is not added over here. Object is not added over here. Correct? So as I mentioned, there are 2,000 objects available. 2,000. Can you imagine this? 2,000. And Salesforce is not saying that if you create the object, I will add over here. Salesforce says that you create your object, you create your own tab and add over here so that the object is visible. Correct? So these are the tabs available. So every tab contains an object. So first we have to create a tab and then put a tab over here. Okay. So let me show you how to create the tabs now. Okay. So keep this thing as it is. Let me duplicate this. Okay. We will keep our object as it is. Okay. Now close this. Okay. Now how to go to setup? Just to repeat. Go to setup. And now here you can search for the tabs. You see this tabs option over here. Just click on tab and just create a new tab. Now here you can see the tabs over here. These are the tabs: airplane, car parts, car. You see these 3 tabs? Now I can show you. Here are these 3 tabs: car parts, language, airplane. So these are the tabs. And inside the tab, we put the object so that everyone can access that. Okay. So let's create a new tab from here. You see this custom tab? Correct. So let's click on new. Okay. For which object we want to put a tab over there? For the bike. Correct. You see this, there are n number of objects available. So Salesforce says that you create the object, that is fine, but you should create the tab to put that on a user or to give that to the user. So just bike, sorry, and then select the tab style. So tab style is the icon that you can select. Okay. So chip icon, castles. Can someone see the bike logo? Dish, ship, star, sun. Oh, I don't see the back somewhere. That's fine. We can select anything. Okay. Building block. I'll select this logo. It's just the logo. Okay. We can select anything. The logo that will appear over here like this. Okay. In our case, it will now look like a building block. Okay. Now click on next. Now don't change anything. Keep the default on so that the tab is visible to everyone. Next. And then save. Okay. Once you're done with this, refresh your Salesforce. Okay. Refresh your tab. Sometime it will not add it. Okay. Sometime it will take time or it might be your cache issue. Okay. So let's check and see. Yeah, it is now added. You see this? Now bike is added over here. Okay. So let's click on a bike. Now you see there are no records. And obviously there are record because this is the fresh object we have created. Correct. But if you go to the leads, there are the 3 records that are already present because I am using the lead object from last 2 to 3 months. Correct. That's why there are a couple of records. But on a bike, there are no records. Why? Because we haven't created them yet. Correct. So let's create a first record. Okay. Now, how to create the record inside the object? Here is the new button. Click on new. Okay. Now, what will be the bike name? So the name field is the Salesforce. Now, correct? That is added by the Salesforce himself. Can I show you that? Okay. So this is, remember, this is our object manager and we are in a bike. Let's go to the fields and relationship. You see this? Bike name is added by default over here. And that is done by the Salesforce. So whenever you create any object, for example, you create now a mobile. So mobile name, it will add. You create a fridge name, correct? So name field will be added by the Salesforce himself. Okay. And there are the other 3 fields that is created by Salesforce. The 4 fields that are added by the Salesforce. First, name field by third, last modified by, and last is the owner. Okay. So created by means the person who is creating that record. Last modified by means person who is lastly modified that record. And owner is who is the owning of that record. Okay. So let's come to that. Let's create a new record. So what will be my bike name? My bike name will be, for example, Pulsar. Okay. So save it. You see the save button, and that's it. You see this complete details of object record. Okay. So now to see that at a high level, just click on tab. You see this bike name. You can see. Once you click on this, you can see the complete details. Okay. Now you might be asking, on a lead, we can see the 6 columns over here. Correct. But on a bike, we can see only 1. The reason behind there is only 1 name field. Correct. There are no other fields are still present. Correct. So this is how we can create the records in an object. Okay. Now, just to give you the quick recap, what we did till now. What we did, we created one object. We created this object. Once we're done with the object, what we did, we go to the setup and created a fresh tab. So this is our second operation. And then what we did, we created a record inside it. So creation of record is very much easy, correct? You just need to click on name and you have to give the name to your bike. That's it, correct? So suppose Royal Enfield, for example, 350, whatever it is, correct? So this is my second bike record and I can see this very easily. But I wanted to see all of the records. Then I'll click on a tab. Then I can see the multiple records over here. So what we have done today, we created one object, we created one tab, and we created the couple of records. Okay. Now I can understand there are n number of clicks we did. Okay. Now very quickly in next 5 minutes, let's repeat this process, everything. Okay. Now forget about everything. If you are not able to understand, focus now. We will create one more object now. Okay. Now how to create object? I'm repeating everything. Please pay the attention. Go to the setup. Correct. Once you are in a setup, you have to go to object manager. So whatever you are playing related to object and fields, everything is inside the object manager. Okay. So click on object manager. Can someone suggest a name to object, a new entity, anything where we can store some details? I can store because I already created multiple objects over here. school is there, employee is there, student is there, car parts there. What left? Mobile phone. Okay. So let's create the object as a mobile phone. Okay. So create. So how to create a custom object? It's again very simple. Okay. You just need to remember the steps for initially few days, but after that you will able to do this very easily because it's every single day you are doing this. Okay. So let's create a new object. Once you're on object manager, here in the top right corner, you have button that is called the custom object. Click on that. And then what you need to do, you just need to give your object name over here one time, mobile. I'll just give the mobile. Okay. And then the click somewhere else and the plural name you have to give mobiles. Correct? And save. What I did, I just return mobile 2 times. That's what. It's as simple as. Then click on save. Once you've done this, what you did actually in the database, you created this table. For example, empty table you created. Now this is what you have created. And what the object name over here is now? Object name is mobile. Correct? So this is what you did just. So now you have created the empty object. There are the no columns name even. So this type of empty table you create in the background when you create the object in a system. Correct? So now what is the next task should be? A next task should be create some fields to store some data in it. Correct? So once you're done with the object creation, you can create a new fields as well. Okay. But right now we are not going to create the fields. Okay. We are not going into much details. We will just put our object over here and create some records in it. Okay, let me refresh just to show you that whenever you create the object, it is not added by default. You see this? There is a no mobile option, neither over here. Correct? So to put the object on UI to the end user, you have to put that object inside the tab and tab will be displayed over here. Correct? So every single object will have tab. So one object, one tab. That's the relationship. Once you put your object inside the tab, then the tabs will be visible over here. Correct? So once you're done with the object creation, what the next job we have to do? The very quick next job we have to do is the tab creation. So how to create the tab? For that, you have to again go to setup. Correct? Now you see, you are not in object manager. You are in a home tab. You see this? It is highlighted above. So now you are in a home tab. Now search for the tabs. And you will get the option for the tabs creation. Okay. Let's create a new tab then. There is the new button you will get. Click on that. For which object we wanted to create? For the mobile. Correct? We will select the mobile option. Let's select some symbol for it. Let's select the scan. Click on next, and save. Save. Correct? Now refresh your Salesforce. You can see the tabs now. Okay. You go down, search for your, here you can see the mobile. Click on mobile. That's it. So your tab start visible over here. Okay. The way you can see the leads, same way you can see the mobile over here. Correct? But you might notice the previous object that we created as a bike, it might be not visible over here because it's a screen limitation, and Salesforce will put that in here in the more option. Correct? So that's okay. We can again click on that and pull that to over here. Now, once you're done with the tab creation, here is the new button and you have to create the mobile. Okay. So what's the mobile name? For example, mobile one. I don't know the mobile name much. Mobile one. So this is my phone name. Okay. Not to complicate. For example, Nokia 123. This is our mobile device name. Just click on save. Correct. What's the mobile name? Nokia 123. Who is created that record? Sunil. Who lastly modified? Sunil. And who is the owner? Sunil. Because this is all these three operations done by myself. If someone changes the record, suppose someone edit the record and change some value in it. Instead of Nokia 123, they added 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So this is a new mobile phone. Correct. So then what will happen? Last modified. Suppose, for example, it's done by Gaurav. So the name will become as a Gaurav over here. Last modified. Date 8:28 a.m. Correct. And who is the current still owner? I am the owner. Sunil is the owner of this record and created by Sunil at this time, date and time. Records. Click on new button and then add I would say Apple 14. No? Save. That's it. And you can start creating your own records. You just click over here, you can see the number of records. Correct. Now what you did over here? So you created the object, you created one you created a one tab over here and created your records over here. And what are the names over here? Created by, owner, last modified by, and created by. So these are the 4 standard columns that we have automatically. Correct. But we will create our own custom fields as well. But right now, I don't want to go in much complications. Correct. I would highly recommend you to please practice this today. Okay. So let me check what the next thing we need to explain. Okay. I think I already explained you the setup, how to go to the setup. Object is there. Yeah, as I mentioned, standard object, custom object, I have written already over here. Okay, and then I explain you how to create the tabs as well, correct? So what is tab? And we have the tabs I explain over here. Okay, so for this, classic and lightning, you can ignore. There is no classic now, only the lightning. Okay, so just to understand, I have given some assignment questions over here. Okay, you can just go through these assignment questions and try it yourself to find out the answer for this. Okay, I'll give you the 2 days. Within 2 days, you try to find out the answer for these questions. If you are able to find out, you are good. If you are not, I'll give you the each and every question answer in the class then. Okay, so now what we learned today? Today we learn how to create the object, correct? And before that, we understand what is mean by object, what is mean by field, and what is mean by records. So these are the 3 different concepts we learned today. And after that, we practice those concepts. So it's not only the thing that we are learning, at the same time, we are practicing as well. So we are giving you the hands-on training, correct? So we learn the 3 concepts: object, fields, and records, and then we try to implement those concepts real life. Correct. So what we did, we created a car object, we created the mobile object, and then we created the couple of records in it. Correct. But we haven't created fields yet. Okay. There is a reason for that. I'll explain in the next class. Okay. But if I give you the fields also, it might get very much complicated. Okay. So today we will stop over here. I will request you today there is assignment. Okay, you have to select your own object. Okay, give it an any name except my object names, mobile and bike, and the rest of the things you can see, that is car, airplane, language, student, and employee. These are the objects name you are not allowed to create. Okay, take your own object name. For example, someone can take object name as a for example, a building. Someone can take object name as a bakery. Correct? You can take any object name. Okay, but it has to be a realistic. Take any object name, create a tab for it, and create a couple of records for it. Okay, and after that, you have to give me a screenshot on a group. Okay, how to give the screenshot? Go to the snipping tool. Here is the snipping tool everyone will have. Click on new, and this much screenshot you have to give me on a group. Okay, And here you have to just put on your tab name. Okay. And let me know. Okay. Meanwhile, if you are facing any challenges to create your tab or to create the object, do not wait. You can just WhatsApp me, okay, with your audio message. Do not post a text message. Please put an audio message, record, and put over me on a group or on a personal. I'll answer your questions. Okay. Now, the last point that I want to explain today is that some of the people, if you even create the tab, and refresh your page, then still sometimes Salesforce will not add the tabs over here. Okay, Salesforce will not add the tabs over here after creating the tab as well. So make sure you refresh your page a couple of times, 3 or 4 times, then the tab will be added. Okay, if not, just log out from Salesforce and log in from Salesforce and again log in. You will be able to see your tabs. Still again not see, there is an edit icon. You see this? Personalize your navigation bar. So this is our navigation bar. Just click on this. Okay, and add more item. Click on this, add more item, and then might be you can see search for your tab. Okay, so search for the car, for example, and then select the car and save. Okay, here because I have it, for me it's added all the tabs, so I can see nothing over here. But in sometimes it happens that Salesforce will not add the tab. So don't forget to use this pencil icon. Okay, click on that, add new items, and here you can see your tab. Then currently it's a 0 because there is a no tab. Just select the tab and you see this highlight gray button, add new items. Just click on that, your tab will be added very quickly. Okay. So that's it from my side for today. Okay. So if you have any question, then you can ask now. Else you do not have question, then today you have to complete the assignment. Okay. And this is the first assignment that I'm giving to everyone. So make sure you complete this. Okay. Thank you so much, everyone, for the joining. We'll connect tomorrow. If you have any question, then you can ask. No problem. I'll stay in the class.